Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. It is that time of year. The pine tree behind me is losing all its old needles and they're just coming down like crazy today. I'll show you a shot of the ground. You can see the needles just covering the ground now. It's a good thing I have all my show trees in the greenhouse. This is the time of the year that many of us are bringing our tropical trees indoors for the winter. And today I want to talk about light. Unlike grow lights, the sun doesn't stay static above the tree, shining straight down on it all the time. And that's part of the problem with grow lights. In nature, the sun rises in the east, gives directional light to this side of the tree. Throughout the day, it slowly moves across the sky. At noon hour, it's shining straight down on the tree. And then as it gets closer to sunset, it's setting in the west and lighting up this side of the tree. So you get a naturally domed canopy to the tree, getting less light to the north and the south of the tree. So you end up with this kind of shaped canopy in nature. In nature, the light is very even from the top of the tree to the bottom branches. Because the sun is so far away, there's no variation in intensity with this short distance. With grow lights, if you have a grow light above here, it gets the most intensity here, and the light diminishes with the square of the distance. So the bottom branches get less intense light and the top gets really intense light. So that is another disadvantage with grow lights. With most trees, they're apically dominant, so the strongest growth is on the top of the tree. And with a grow light, that's also the strongest light source. So your trees quickly grow out of shape. The apex gets really, really strong, and the lower branches get weaker because they're weaker in the first place, and they get less intensity of light. I've always thought the perfect lighting for an indoor tree would be having a light over here that starts off really dimly, simulating dawn, increases intensity as it gets into the sky, travels across, and then sets, decreasing in intensity until nightfall. I think that would really accurately simulate sunlight. When Ross came down with the auction ficus, he mentioned his lighting system where he had some clip-on lights that kind of gave even light all the way around the trees, shining in on the lower branches, some above, and I thought that was a really good system. When Manuela and Reno were down last picking up their mall ficus, those giant ficus benjaminas that we reduced down, they gave me a gift, and I think Ross had something to do with it. Let's head indoors now and I'll show you what they got me. Here is a look at the lighting system they got me. So it's 3 LED lights on adjustable arms, so you can position them wherever you want to light up different sections of the tree, move them closer to the tree, further away. Very flexible system. And you can turn lights on and off individually, so I'll show you that. So there's 2 lights on, 1 light on, all 3 lights on. So you can just manually change it if you want. You can also adjust the intensity of the light, so you can go from very dim to very bright. There's also a timer, so you can have it so it automatically turns on and off. You can have it on for 3 hours, 6 hours, or 12 hours. So it's quite a versatile light. The 3 lights have arms that come down to the base here, which is a clamp, so you can clamp it to any bench or anywhere you want. And it's a very strong clamp, so it won't fall off. Here's a look at the controller for the light, so you can turn them off, on. There's the timer, which lights you want on, and the intensity. It comes with a little user's manual, and it also comes with 3 gardening tools. Kind of cool. I'm not endorsing any particular brand of lights. I just wanted to show you this concept, having the 3 lights kind of surrounding the canopy, giving even light to the entire crown of the tree. Indoor lighting for bonsai is a little different from like grow lights where you're just trying to grow the trees vertical. Indoor lighting for bonsai has to be even like this, ideally. And I think this will really, really help the trees kind of grow that crown out, so you won't get all that kind of vertical growth at the edges. It'll be more flowing and more directional. So I'm very excited to try these lights out over the winter. I think they're going to be fantastic. Just yesterday, I also got a late birthday gift from Reg, and he got me an indoor grow light, which is really, really nice. It's a chip-on-board, high-intensity grow light. It comes with glasses, hanging straps. Yeah, it looks like a really, really good quality one. So I'm excited to try that out over the winter too. So thanks very much, Reg. I really, really appreciate it. While I'm in the plant room here, I'll show you a quick update to my progress, or lack of it, here in the plant room. Up in the ceiling here, I have all the beams in place for my attic up here, which will tie all the ventilation into one chamber up top, and then it'll vent out the side. And I just got a call today that my turbine vent, which is wind powered, will suck all the air out the side here. So I've got to pick that up today. So that'll be exciting. I've just got some minor work to do up here, and then I can close all this section in. There is only 2 days now before the Toronto Bonsai Society's fall show. So I was working on this bamboo stand. I added legs to it. I'll show you that. This bamboo stand started out life as a bathroom mat. So it's designed to go on the floor of your bathroom. So when you get out of the shower or the bathtub, you stand on this. That's what it was sold as. It's by a company called Toilet Tree Products. You can find them online. And it's been repurposed as a bonsai stand now. So when I was over at Matt's last time, we cut out some legs for it just to bring it off the show table a little bit, to elevate it. So I'll show you what it looks like underneath. So here it is. So you can see there's a leg each end, and then there's one in the middle just to support, if you have a heavy tree on here, just so it doesn't buckle or anything. It's pretty strong, this, so I don't think it would, but it's always good to have a bit of safety. So you can see it sits really good. You can't see that middle leg. You'd have to come down really, really low to even get a glimpse of it. So I think it looks really good. I varnished these new legs with a violin varnish I had that I made, and it tones in really nicely. The colors go really, really good with the bamboo, so I was really happy with that. My show trees are enjoying life here in the greenhouse. It's nice and warm and humid. It should really help the moss green up in time for the show. I want to do a correction today too. This miniature garden set was not sent to me by Haarlem, Friesland. That is a city in the Netherlands. It was sent to me by Klaus. So thanks very much, Klaus. Sorry I got your name wrong. My red maples are getting some nice fall colors. Some nice reds and yellows. Yeah, it looks quite nice. Even though this isn't a very refined, penjing, it still looks nice in autumn. Very, very nice. The Osage orange forest is getting some nice yellows to it. It always gets nice fall colors. My sugar maples get a nice red color to them in fall. So I can hardly wait to plant all these in a forest for next spring. That'll be really cool, just for the fall colors alone. My Norway maple here is getting beautiful yellows on it. You can see the nice kind of deep yellow color. So that's really nice. Beside it is the mulberry. It's got a paler yellow color to it. My oaks are just starting to turn. There's a maple down here that's almost a purpley red. Here's my royal oaks. They're getting some nice yellow colors on them now. black maple here, getting some nice kind of yellows and, I don't know, tan color. The trident maple here is getting some nice fall colors. The elm forest that Ricardo gave me is getting nice fall colors on it. Looks really, really cool. My willow here, my black willow, getting some nice yellows on it. The larch in the northern bog forest continue to get their yellows and straw-colored needles. There's not a whole lot of color on my larch forest yet, but the one tree at the back here is definitely turning colors. My tall ash tree here has almost lost all its leaves. My plan for this tree, I'm going to cut it down, just keeping it about this high. So all this main trunk will get cut back, and I'll allow all these kind of sucker type growth or clump style growth to grow up. And yeah, I'll keep it a very small planting with very thick trunks. I think it'll look good, and then slowly develop larger and larger. The Cotoneaster has some nice dark purpley red leaves on it now. Looks really good. My nightshade vine, the berries are turning some pretty cool colors. Oranges, yellows, reds. Nice to see. I think it's still, oh, it's got a purple berry up here. Really cool. I'm still trying to straighten out this piece of wood that will go underneath my accent plant for the show. Hopefully it'll work. My avatar grove here, my eastern white cedar forest, is looking really nice. After the last pruning, it's grown in a bit. Yeah, it looks really nice. I'd love to put this in the Toronto show, but I don't know if I'll get time to do the all the detail work on the forest floor. I would get time, except, as you can see, there is rain coming in tonight, and it's supposed to rain for the next couple of days, so I could work on this maybe indoors, but I don't know if I'll get time. I've got to get my plant room done also, so I should be working on that, not on bonsai, but it's hard because I love working on the bonsai, and the plant room, it's a necessity, but I'd rather be working on trees, but I can't put it off too much longer. I want to thank Manuela, Reno, and Reg for the awesome LED lights. The plants are just going to be so happy over the winter, I think, with all that extra supplementary lighting. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.